yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I
can. Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I am your host, Mikey, and as always with me, my boy Tommy. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Mr. Mikey?
It's Friday, and it was a long freaking week, brother. It was a long freaking week.
Yeah, Mikey working like 15-hour days, man.
Yeah.
Golly. First, I do want to say one thing before we start the show.
Sure.
Shout out and prayers and all that good stuff to my buddy Captain D, who lives in Cape Coral, Florida, and obviously everyone else that's affected by the Hurricane Ian. Man, Mikey, they got smashed. I'm from Florida. I lived through many hurricanes, but that one was intense. A Category 4, almost a 5. And man, that was brutal. So talk to Captain D, just a heads up.
Okay.
He had a little damage, but he got lucky. So he wound up he's in Tampa now, staying somewhere because he has no electric, so he couldn't stay there. Mm-hmm. Overall, though, he kind of got lucky. There's a few minor things that happened, but that's good news. So Captain D, by the way, he probably won't be on tomorrow's show, but obviously we will give him a pass because he's going through a lot right now, and the last thing he's worrying about is football. But yeah, so shout out to everyone who lives in Florida who's affected. We wish you well and thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Go
Absolutely. That's there's things that are bigger than what we do here. You know what I mean? Football and sports, life.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on in Florida is one of them. I have some friends that live down there as well. I've been trying to stay in contact with them all week long. Also, as one of my roles at my job is I am the global travel manager as one of the many hats I wear over there. So I have been reaching out to anybody who's been traveling into Florida to make sure they get home safe. So, the little things in life.
Yep. So, Mikey, let's get to some NFL news to start. And I know you're running the show, but I did want to start with something important and something that we have to talk about. We have to. And I know it's been talked about probably all day and all night since yesterday. And that is the Tua, I can't pronounce his last name, Tagovailoa, whatever his last name is. I just call him Tua. Situation that occurred. So let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's rewind to Sunday in Miami. Matt Milano with a late hit. It wasn't a devastating hit, and it wasn't anything that was, unbelievable. He pushed.
Do you listen to the Pat McAfee show?
I do.
AJ Hawk doesn't think that was a late hit. He's like,
I've seen that before. I've seen that before, by the way. That hasn't been called where a football, a defensive player kind of pushes at the last second, but nothing major. I think it was more. I mean, it's a 50-50 call. I'll be honest with you. Like Josh would have wanted that call. I know Josh Allen. He would have been looking at the ref too. So, but it is a 50-50 call in my opinion. But I think it was more that he just was off balance.
It wasn't dirty is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, it wasn't extreme. Yeah, he didn't like nail him to the side or hit his back.
Yeah.
So watching that live, I clearly saw him backpedal, fall on his back, but more his head snap back and hit the ground, right? and him try to get up in my first reaction was, because I've watched football all my life. I've watched boxing all my life. I love boxing. And I know when a guy is staggered, when a guy is out of it, right? Like just not there. And usually your first reaction is when you get rocked like that, you do the head twitch, right? You do the,
you shake your head, you're trying to shake it out.
You're shaking the cobwebs out. That's the old saying, right? So if you watch his reaction, his initial reaction, it's the first thing he does when he gets up. He does this, right? He does that, right? Then he starts to walk and he falls to the ground. He gets back up. He does the head thing again slightly, and then he grabs at his head. If you saw him, he grabs at his head, his helmet. Now, they initially said it was a head injury, and then they said it was back and ankle injury, and he returned in the second half. It's funny to me because there's no way in hell. Now, I'm not saying his back wasn't hurt or his ankle, and maybe he lied. Very well. Maybe he said, my back, it's my back, it's my ankle, I'm good to go. And then they just said, all right, he's good to go. He seems fine. But ignoring his head injury, because clearly there was something wrong there, and it wasn't his back. Because if it was your back, he would have grabbed his back, he would have stiffened up, he would have fell right away and stayed on the ground if it was back. You know what? It's just, now I know what a neurologist came out before Thursday night and actually tweeted out, man, if he plays tonight and gets another concussion, which is very possible. Yeah, it's very possible, because I think, what do they call it? Second, there's a term for it. Second concussion or
impact.
Something.
It's like something impact.
Yeah. So he's more susceptible, is that the word I'm looking for, of getting a concussion, even on a minor hit, because his brain hasn't, it's still there. It's still lingering. Because in a concussion, they say you're supposed to go 7 to 10 days, right? So football world, a week, right? Minimum. He went 4 days, Mikey. 4, right? Now, the hit was obviously worse than the hit with Milano, but I still didn't think it was crazy. I've seen that a million times where a player gets kind of spun. And bro, Mikey, like, he was out of it. And mind you, I was at work, and my initial impression, because mind you, I can't totally I'm looking at people, making sure everything's cool in the bar, but I look up, I see it initially, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And I see his hands, like, and I thought at first, no joke, I thought he broke his hand. And I'm like, oh shit, he broke his fingers. You know what I mean? Like, like I thought maybe the way they fell.
Crossed. Yeah, and the way they crossed.
Yeah, I thought maybe like he messed up his hand. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that looks nasty. Like, I thought like his hands got all broken. And but I'm like, no. And I looked at the replay again. I'm like, he never even fell on his hand. And wow. So Mikey, what is your thoughts on the whole situation with this?
I will tell, I am not a doctor. I'll tell you that right now.
I
am not a doctor. I will tell you what I saw. He was rocked in the game against Buffalo.
Yeah.
They pulled him out. They went back to there. They did whatever they had to do. He talked them into letting him return. They let him return. It was a big game for them.
Yeah.
They let him return. The NFLPA comes out and starts an investigation. Why they allowed him to play before the investigation was complete, I don't understand. However, they let him play again. He went out there and got ragdolled down and got hurt worse. However, maybe he just has a freaking strong brain, because they released him last night and let him fly home.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a strong brain.
Listen,
you get. There's no such thing. You could be the biggest, strongest guy in the world.
He went to the actual hospital with neurologist. Has nothing to do with the team.
Oh, I get it.
And the hospital released him.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't
let him fly home.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not. It's a concussion.
Oh no, they came out and said it was concussion.
I had a friend. I'll give you an example. I had a friend years ago, Mikey, was at a red light at night. It was like 10 at night in Florida, and it was just over a bridge, right? And there's a red light there, and he's just over the bridge. When you come over the bridge, maybe go another 500, maybe 800 yards, something like that, you come to a light. and he was with his girlfriend. They got McDonald's. He's at the light, bro. And the last thing he remembers is reaching for his radio because his radio is coming out of his car. An 18-wheeler fell asleep and just ran into the back of his Mustang.
Oh, wow.
And he called me from the hospital that night to pick him up. Okay. Clearly concussed. Clearly concussed. They let him out. And I'm like, damn, you don't look too bad. Like he had like a little cut, a glass, that on his. So I go the next day to his car. He had a Mustang convertible. It was the old school boxy one. Bro.
So it was made out of like actual metal, which is probably why it didn't just crumble into a tin.
No, dude, I couldn't believe it, Mikey. I went to get the radio out of the junkyard or wherever they had the car. I can't believe you live. Bro, the seats, there was no back seat. The front seats were like this. The car was like a little bit more, he would have been dead. But my point is, bro, they let him go. So I don't believe in that whole like, oh, they're gonna keep him there.
No, I was surprised they let him go, especially coming off of one. But he could have said he didn't have one.
Exactly. So
and they're sticking to the story.
And they could have also said, hey, go back to Miami. See, you might want to see a neurologist there. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like he's in Cincinnati at the time. Right, go ahead, fly back. Just don't do this. Don't do. We don't know exactly what was told for him not to do. Right, and you listen. He could have told. I totally understand. He could have lied to his coach. He could have told the doctor he's fine in that week 3 matchup versus us, and said, "Hey, I'm good. This is my back and my ankle. I'm good." And he could have lied. I think he did. And there's no doubt about it. And last night, bro, that was really bad. A lot of analysts saying that's the worst, one of the worst they've ever seen. As far as an injury like that goes, right? Like to your head, where your hands lock up, right? So, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. With all the things that happened with the Dolphins lately, with the owner, right, getting suspended, believe me, the NFL is going to look a little deeper, especially now because they got everybody talking about it.
Well, they have the PA. They have the PA trying to sue the NFL.
Bro, they got everybody involved. So. It's going to be interesting to see, especially Mikey, what they do next week when they play. I really am curious if they try to push Tua back out there. I'm very curious. But
because he has who do they play next?
I'll tell you right now. So the Dolphins,
because Teddy didn't really look that horrible.
No, I told you that. He's a decent backup. He can't. He got him. It took a little bit for him to get going. You could tell, which is normal. But no, I told you he's not I would love him as a backup. I told you he's a precise passer. I mean, he obviously he's lost a step a little bit, but he's still for a guy to come in. He's fine. No problem.
Even the interception was just a miscommunication between him and the tight end.
Exactly. They played the Jets. So do you really need Tua? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It is a division in the game, though. Yeah. But the Jets are 1-2. You're 3-1. You probably want to sit them, especially how Bridgewater played, right? Almost won the game for you, right?
Yeah.
And then they got week 6. They got who do they play? Week 6, they got Minnesota at Miami. So maybe they do sit them. Maybe they feel like they have to.
I would.
At this point. Oh,
granted, I probably wouldn't have put him back out there, but the fact that they did, I would sit him this week.
You have to. It's just funny. It is funny to me because
optics by itself.
At 9:30, I have NFL Overtime with Curtis, and he did a whole spiel on Josh Allen after week 1, and he had these tapes about Josh Allen taking these shots and his head banging back, and I want to hear his perspective now because those are the same shots that Tua took with the head going back.
But from the pocket.
And what is the difference? The difference is Tua was out of it. He could barely walk. He fell to the ground. So Tua's tiny. He can't take. Bro, Tua, the one thing about Tua, is somebody said it today. Perfect. He is not, it was Colin Cowherd. He does not, he's a pocket guy. He does not get out of the pocket much, right? Yeah. He's not a scrambler. So when he gets touched, he's getting touched. He's a little dude. And he's been injury prone. we knocked him out last year right away. So I don't know, man. I think this is going to be something that sticks with Tua through his career, bro. And if it's starting already this early, where he's just getting like smashed like this
Every
out of
time
it
he
on
gets
hit,
hit.
yeah, and they weren't
look
brutal.
at the AJ hit from last year. Knocked him out.
You know what that first hit, now that I think about it, Mikey, you know what that hit reminded me of, the Milano hit on him? The same hit that Milano did on Lamar Jackson in the playoffs in 2020.
It wasn't Milano.
I thought it was Milano.
No, it was Edmonds grabbed his legs and then he went down.
I thought he was in the end zone and fell backwards.
Or
was the week before?
He was in the end zone, but it was Edmonds who was chasing him down and like jumped on, grabbed his legs, and he fell down and hit his head.
Yeah, but either way, it's the same kind. My point is same kind. It wasn't like a brutal hit. It's more like he just kind of stumbled back and he got like a whiplash effect. But didn't Lamar have the same injury the week prior, and he said he had to go to the bathroom? Was his excuse? Remember that?
Like that? I heard. I didn't watch that game, but I heard about that.
He said he had to go to the bathroom. Remember, he had a big hit, and then he left. Then he came back. Really odd. And then he had the next week he had the same.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, listen, athletes, even boxers, they want to go out on their shield.
Yeah.
Always. So my question to you is it, don't you think the head coach, whatever, like, the doctors have to step in and say, I got to pull you, man.
The doctors have to step in and protect them from and that's the thing, the whole independent doctors, not even the team doctors, they have to protect them. The head coach, if they get the all clear from the doctors, they're going to send them out there. That's just what they do.
I hear you. I don't know.
I wouldn't have played him knowing that what he was coming off of.
And somebody else made a good point too. They said, why don't these guys have tablets in the back to kind of look at the play, even if the guy says he's okay? Because you could clearly see, like, he wasn't, right? Like, that is not from a back injury.
They have spotters. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick talked about it last night on the broadcast.
Yes, spotters. Yes.
And he got yanked out because of a spotter one time.
Yeah, so did
Whitworth said that.
Yeah, Whitworth.
Whitworth said he talked his ways back into a game, and then one of his teammates said no.
Right, right.
And sat him down.
So that's what I'm saying. So I gotta say too, I get the whole, you got the coach gonna listen to the doctor, but I think the coach has a little responsibility too. Like, you got to kind of protect your players too. I get the doctor thing, but if you see your guy that kind of jacked up, like, I mean, my point is McDaniel really truly believing to saying, oh, that was my back? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
It's hard to get a read on McDaniel. Some of the stuff the guy said last night was cringy as hell.
It was, bro. I don't know, man. I think he
could just be very monotone. That just could be like the way he talks, but the way it came off.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway,
so I'm gonna move on. Move on to some news real quick. Keenan Allen once again out again for Chargers. Sorry to your Chargers fan. Sorry to me for having him on my fantasy team. I never learn.
Jameis Winston out.
Yes, Mac Jones. We knew high ankle sprain. He's probably going to be a couple weeks. I'll be honest with you, Pats fans. Montgomery, Bears running back, ruled out. So there's a lot of injuries, but Mikey, I want to show you something. I want you to go ahead and go over this.
We'll get there in 1 second. Before we get to the injury report.
Whoa. All right, go ahead.
Before we get there, Andy Dalton getting a start. Not Taysom Hill. Andy Dalton getting the start for the Saints.
Yeah, but that's oh, my dog loves that. No, I think I don't see that crazy at all.
Rashawn Slater, massive loss. Trent Williams last week went down.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, that sucks for that.
There's so many injuries this year.
But I don't think I still think we have the most right now.
So I want to talk a little bit about the Bengals Dolphins recap game.
Yeah, go for it.
So when I watched the game last night, and I actually sat down and watched the game while I was on a call for work. So I was watching it, and I'll tell you, the Dolphins looked about like what the Dolphins look like against us.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the Bengals, Joey B was missing throws.
They don't look good.
So many throws.
They don't.
Like
They
they
don't. They
ended up winning, but holy crap!
no. They're not the same Bengals that you saw last year at the end of the season. They are the Bengals that started the season of last year, though. Can they turn it around and do what they did last year? Is the answer? Is the question? I mean,
Well, not really, because if you remember, they started off kind of hot last year. Also, Jamar Chase was going crazy, and
yeah, but they were.
like,
I don't. But then they started losing games that came on at the end, right? Okay.
yeah,
So either way, they came. They finished strong. I think last year they didn't start too great. I still something's not right there. I don't know what it is, but they just don't look right. They don't look.
I think it's the head coach, because he's
It
also
could
the
be.
play caller. Because man, some of those play calls, like I felt like
know.
we were back with Dayball when he was running that same quarterback draw up the middle. Like they kept just running
God.
freaking Nixon right up the gut. I'm like, how about you
Yeah.
try something different, dude? That's not working.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I got to give credit to the Dolphins defense again. They kind of for the
Dolphins defense
most
is
part,
good.
yeah,
Dolphins defense is good.
for the most part, they've been really stepping up, man, especially like on like big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like they tried their best to keep the Dolphins in that game Thursday night, but I just think it was just the turnover killed them there at the end there.
Yep.
And then the touchdown was
losing X also hurt.
Oh, that was huge for them. That was huge. You're right. That was a big loss.
After that long touchdown when he got beat, he just wasn't right after
his
that.
leg. Yeah, they put that huge wrap on his leg.
Yeah.
Because
they're already without Jones, so losing both their starting corners, and they don't have quite the depth that the Bills have back there. So
Yep.
So okay. Anyways, I wanted to get your take on where the Bengals were at. Because they're one kick away from being, or they're like 2 plays away from being 4-0 rather than 2-2. And I'm like, I wasn't impressed by them that I've seen yet this year. Any of the games I saw, I haven't been impressed by them.
Yeah, they played a bad Steelers team too, like offensively. Steelers has a good defense, but their offense stinks. They should have won that game. I don't know. I just don't.
Then the Jets last week weren't good.
No, yeah. I mean,
Zach Wilson's back. So Jets. Zach Wilson's back.
Yes. I'll tell you what. I don't know, man. I really, honestly, from what I saw last year, I know he kind of came on at the end a little bit, started playing a little better, but I'm not a fan. But we'll see. It was 1 year. It just seems like he's already battled 2 injuries through 2 seasons, like 1.5 seasons already. So we'll see. I think Flacco, to be honest with you, has played pretty well. So, and Flacco has gotten connections with some of the receivers already. So it's going to be interesting to see
him and the rookie Garrett Wilson.
Yes, the rookie. So it's going to be interesting to see this Zach Wilson come in and have the same chemistry with these guys. It could totally change up the locker room too. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm very curious. And if he does bad, do they go back to Flacco?
They're not going to yank him out. He's the number 2 pick from last year. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. You gotta have to let the kid learn. Take the bumps.
So, anyways, let's move on. Now you can pop up your screen.
Woo, the screen.
Yeah.
The book. We got a book of injuries.
Yeah. So we'll go into the injury reports. We have 3 already ruled out. Phillips, Kumaro, and Benford all ruled out. Phillips, they're hoping will be back next week. He didn't practice at all this week. Kumaro has that leg injury. He left early last week. Didn't practice at all. And then Benford had surgery 2 days ago. They're expecting him to probably be. They say week to week, but I'm guessing he'll probably be out until after the bye week. Would be my guess. Unless they want to let him play with a club on, but I don't think you want to put a rookie 6th-round pick out there one-handed. I just don't think that's a smart move. Oh yeah. Triggs comes in. Surprise, surprise. Xavier Rhodes injured.
I know. But I did a video.
He's on the practice squad anyway, so he's not going to be.
Yeah, but still, you don't want. Never good though. Yep. Still not good here. I did a video today on that.
Yep. So the rest of the guys we have Ed Oliver, who was limited all week long, who's questionable. We have Dane Jackson, limited all week long, who's questionable. I'll be interested to see if Dane plays this week. Mitch Morris, limited all week long, questionable. Gabe Davis, he I guess re-aggravated it this week,
I heard.
or it's been bothering him more this week. So we'll see if he's going to be out there. Dawson Knox, and our newest O lineman that we signed after the Tommy Doyle injury,
I know.
Justin Murray,
Already.
came in and hurt his foot.
Yes, I know.
So
I know.
lots and lots of injuries. Like Bates passed the concussion test. He'll be good. He's gonna go. Deion Dawson's had an illness. He's back. He's full. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Diggs was rest. Cam Lewis, he had an arm issue, which might be why he didn't play last week, and then went to Ingram, and we just didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
He was full today, so he's not.
We're in a brace. We're in a brace, though.
Yeah.
All right. You'll probably have the brace on in the game.
Yep. Roger Saffold and the other ones were just vet rest days. So, I'll be surprised. Like, I can see Ed Oliver finally going. It's been a few weeks. I imagine Knox is going to go. I imagine true game time. I'm guessing is going to be Gabe and Poyer is who I'm really guessing is going to be true game time decisions to see how they feel. I imagine Mitch will probably go because, man, it was bad last week without him.
Yeah.
So if he can go, I imagine he goes. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. From the Ravens side, Justin Houston is doubtful. Patrick Markle, who's the offensive tackle, is doubtful, and Ronnie Stanley is questionable. He was full DNP, and they say he's moving around really well, but it's really up to him when he plays. So I'll be interested to see if Stanley's back for this week. He hasn't played yet this year.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So my take on it is, listen, man. I told you about ankle injuries last week. They're tough. They're not you might feel okay, and then you get out there and you the first real cut you do will tell you everything you need to know. And I think that's what happened with Gabe Davis. I think I told you I didn't think he was right last week when he played the Dolphins. I didn't see the explosiveness, and trust me, it's not going to be there for a little bit. Ankles are a pain, bro. When you sprain your ankle or twist your ankle, like, it is not fun, especially the cut on basketball and football. So if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm just being honest here. I am not playing Gabe Davis this week because it didn't look good last week. If he already re-aggravated again this week during practice, what is the sense of having him out there? Honestly, because look what he did last week versus the Dolphins. It's like no production, really. Let's be real.
Secure.
Yes. I mean, listen, I think Diggs is fine, right? You got Dawson Knox should be in the game, right? So you got two like guys that Josh can count on.
And then you got
Crowder
more involved.
Yeah,
Crowder more involved.
You got Crowder, who's reliable. You got McKenzie, who's reliable. He's been Josh's guy. So there's plenty of guys that have a connection with Josh right now. There's no need to have Gabe Davis out there once again, just re-aggravating his ankle. And then what happens? He twisted even more, and now he's out 3 to 4. I mean, like, just keep him out. Let's see what happens next week. And if he's still not right, keep him out another week. I have no problem with that.
We need to get them healthy.
Yeah, with Ed Oliver too, man. Like, what is going on there, Mikey? Like, that must be more serious than initially reported, or he thought, or because it's weird that he is not he hasn't come back. So I also would be very precautious on Ed Oliver as well, because we're going to need him late in the season. We're going to need him in the playoffs. Like, you cannot have Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips out. You saw that. Like, you can't miss those guys, man. Yeah. And then look, we get a corner, we get an offensive lineman, both get injured. I mean, how unlucky are the Buffalo Bills right now? Like, super unlucky. Not that Xavier Rhodes was going to come in and like be this awesome corner for us, but it was a good depth piece. And so, right, Trey comes back, right? And so we know the deal with Dane, whatever, like, but hurt already. Right? Like,
because
down already.
We don't have Trey back. Benford is gone for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Dane, we didn't want to have to rush him back, so we were going to go with Xavier and Elam, and now it looks like Dane may have to play. Scott Blakely comes in and says your super chat isn't working, by the way. So Tommy, you'll have to look into that. Says McDaniel is a pothead that can't form a coherent sentence. So irritating. Taking the high ground yet saw his quarterbacks collapse, but played him 4 days later. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't get it.
Says it's on, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It says it's on, brother. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but it is on.
We appreciate you, Scott. For even wanting to donate. We appreciate that.
Yep.
We'll still get to your chat. So ultimately, I'm with you on this, Tommy. I'm not going to rush any of those guys back. If they need an extra week, give them an extra week.
Exactly.
It's early. Even if we lose this game, which I don't think we're going to lose this game, but even if we did lose this game, it's a week 4 game. I need them to get healthy for the stretch run.
Right.
It's a long season. Don't try to rush guys back and then compound the issue. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
You got.
I think Scott was just messing with us.
You got it fixed. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate the donation, buddy.
I was looking. I was like, "What is going on here?"
Really, what's going on, brother? Not missing too much. It was a lot of Tua talk early.
Oh, you were injured, Chewy? Like my co-host was injured? It's like, bro, Mike, I didn't even think about that. Everybody's getting injured. I got my co-host in. Am I the only one not with an injury? I feel like I got to just. Do I need to go out there for the Buffalo Bills? Do I need to host every podcast now? Is this happening on every podcast as well? Got injuries throughout Bills podcast?
It's spilling over to the content creators now, buddy.
Yo, I would laugh my ass off if I found out somebody from Buffalo Plus built Buffalo co-host broke his arm somehow.
Right. Hey. Mine was just a freak accident, but I am recuperating. I am getting better every day.
Poor Mikey.
I'm living. I'll live.
He's in a wheelchair, guys.
I am not in a wheelchair.
He's collecting GoFundMes. I mean, this guy's in some major.
Stop it.
I saw him outside McDonald's last week with the sign. I mean, it's getting bad for Mikey.
Wow, you got some major vision, brother, from Detroit to Cali.
Oh man. Oh God. All right, go ahead, Mike. My bad.
Yeah, so ultimately I'm with you. I think we should just rest the guys that need to be rested. If Ed's ready to come back, let him play. If he's not ready, then sit him down. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
Play the healthy guys. So let's quickly move into the keys of the game that we have. Contain Lamar. The edge guys have to set the edge.
Yeah.
We put the game plan out there a couple years ago, right? How we can do it with Shaq. He was one of them who did it. Murphy, he was another one who did it. Like those guys just set the edge and then push the pocket. Don't let Mar get outside of you. And,
right.
And then you play your defense. I think we're gonna rush 4, drop 7 like we normally do into coverage. So
you see, they've been playing Austin in practice as Lamar. You heard about that or no?
Yeah.
So that's
last year
smart.
was McKenzie. This year
it was McKenzie.
Yeah, but Tavon's a little bit more athletic than McKenzie. So
exactly. So yeah, I think it's brilliant. And the last time we played them was 2020, correct? And we took care of business in the playoffs. Go ahead, Mike.
Chewy comes in and says pass all over the Ravens. Keep Lamar contained. No more injuries. That's his keys to the game.
That is great keys of the game.
You have to remember it's gonna be wet and windy there.
Get the win.
It's gonna be wet and windy. It's gonna be wet and windy. Why? So footing's gonna be key. So set your edges, and have your defensive line dominate. Number 2, collapse the pocket. Those D tackles. If we're gonna set the edge, that means we're not sending them to try to get home to Lamar. That means we need to collapse the pocket, push in from outside. That means those D tackles need to come ready to play. Collapse that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, red zone, red zone, red zone.
Yeah.
You have to execute in the red zone. And not field goals, touchdowns. That was the difference last week. That's why we lost.
That was it. That was the key difference. And just also 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts were also a disaster that we need to fix and fix fast, because that's the problem. Can't get a 1 yard. Come on, man.
End of regulations.
The time management too. Come on, guys. Yeah, like that. I expect all that to be cleaned up. Go ahead with the super chat from Scott.
Scott comes in and says, rule: if visible motor dysfunction after a hit to head, neck, or spine, isn't the back close to the spine? Yes.
Yeah, so I heard about that too.
As a matter of fact, your spine runs all the way down your back.
Right. That's also correct. So if his back supposedly was his back, was that messed up where he can't even walk? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that, like, it just doesn't make sense. I know we're back on that, but that did not make sense, Scotty. I call total BS on that with the whole Tua situation. But go ahead.
They put him out there when they shouldn't have. And anyways, Scotty comes in and says he heard Oliver is most likely out.
Yeah, I believe it.
He was a limited practice all week long. I wouldn't even play him anyway. If he's not ready and he's not healthy, you sit him. Get him ready for next week.
100%.
We have depth. Brandon Bryant's on the roster, and Brandon Bryant played fantastic against the run last week.
He did.
We still have Settle. We still have Daquan. Then we're going to run our 5 D ends, and we can slide one of them in on pass rush.
I mean, listen. As limited as we were last week, and as grueling as it was in that sun and players going down in the game, we held the Dolphins to 21 points, and really the one touchdown was a turnover, and they had the ball like the one. Right, was a gimme. So I thought the defense, except for maybe a few plays, right, did a very good job. It was the offense that kind of, I want to say, lost this thing.
Well, they dominated the game. They couldn't execute when it counted.
Right. Well, that's exactly. You got to execute when it counts, because that's the ultimate. I mean, like, listen, how often is Tyler Bass going to shank a field goal? Right. I don't know if it was tipped or whatever, but it looked like he shanked it. Like, from the 30? I mean, that's like, how often is that going to happen? Right. That's one. How often is Gabe Davis going to drop a touchdown in the end zone?
How often is Josh going to just duff a ball?
How often is Stephon Diggs going to be like grueling? And how often is Devin Singletary going to lead the receivers and yards? You know what I mean? Like, a lot. Like, that is not going to happen much. And we were in the game. We could have won the game. We should have won the game. Now we go against Baltimore, who doesn't have a receiving core like the Dolphins. Let's be real.
Not to that degree.
Not to that degree. That's what I'm saying. They don't have, right? And they don't have a defense like the Dolphins. Let's be real. They don't.
Yep.
And the only thing I got going for them, I will say, they're tight end. We got to really knuckle down there. And obviously Lamar Jackson is a totally different quarterback than Tua, as far as you got to really contain him and, going out of the pocket, his running ability. But I felt like we did that very well in 2020. So I think Leslie Frazier has the recipe for Lamar Jackson. That's just my opinion. But what do you think, Mikey?
No, I'm with you on that. Scott comes in and says, did you guys look up the weather forecast, hurricane visual? Yeah, I talked about it a little bit. It's going to be wet and rainy.
Yeah.
And windy.
Try that football off. Get towels out there on,
Yep.
And might have to run a little bit, This might be a game with Singletary has to get the ball more than 6 times.
Yep.
Or
those quick passes.
Or
The short, quick passes. We may not see a bunch of bombs, but at the end of the day, I mean, Josh was throwing it in, 60-mile-an-hour winds in Buffalo. He's going to throw the ball regardless.
He is. Yeah, I don't know about 63 times, but let's hope not. Like, like last week. Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I'm torn on that. I'll be real with you. I'm 50, and once again, it's one of those things again where I'm 50-50 on. Like, I get it's home field advantage. I totally get that. I get that you're kind of, the Dolphins are trying to be, hey, we put the shading on. But I don't know how, like, Buffalo would make an advantage for them in the snow. You know what I mean? Like, cover their area, like only put heaters on their end. You know what I mean? Like, no. I don't know what they could do. We don't do that.
Honestly,
so, like,
it was just an odd game script, as the offense doesn't normally stay on the field and run 90-something plays. That's why it was so bad. If we were off the field some, and the defense was out there, the reason why it looked so bad is because the offense basically, we dominated time of possession 2-1.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Mikey, did you hear Zimmer got worked out or came in for? What do you think about that? About Justin Zimmer? I haven't heard from him in a minute. I don't even know what he's up to.
He tore his ACL last year, and he's just making his way back.
Oof, jeez.
It's always a year or two before they're ready to go. You know what I mean? So
I get you. It's like, I don't know if I want more guys.
Yeah, Matt comes in and says, Scott, if it's a downpour, do we try pounding the rock, or do we unleash Allen?
I would think you would pound the rock a little bit more, but I'll be honest, Mikey, and it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're not going to. I thought we were not pounding the rock, but I thought we would run the ball a little bit more. I predicted Singletary to have 1,000 yards season. Yeah. Not going to happen. I also predicted Gabe Davis to have 1,000 yards. That's probably not going to happen either. But either way, I thought we would be much better running this year, and it just seems that we aren't there yet. And I think Dorsey understands that, and he's just going to go with, it looks like almost like Dorsey tries in the beginning, and it fails maybe, and he just goes right back to heavy passing, and he's just done with it. And that's what Dable did. And I don't know if that's so good, because sometimes you just can't continue to do the whole game plan passing, bro. Like, like for instance, last week there was a run that Zach Moss did, and I got to give him credit. Caught the outside and ran good, right? So why didn't we continue? You know what I mean? Like, and then we totally went away from it again. Like, you got to throw in the runs here and there. You can't just pass. But I don't know. Who knows? I'm not a coordinator, man. I just don't see it happening. I thought we would mix some runs in. Like, what would you feel comfortable with, Mikey? Just off topic of Devin. Let's just say Devin Singletary. He is the lead back. What would you feel comfortable with carries wise and just a game, an average game, like regular game?
Like, how many do I think he should get?
Yeah, per game.
12 to 15.
Exactly. So I don't think anything under 12.
He doesn't need to dominate it to 20 touches a game, but he should be getting 12 to 15 carries a game. And then if you want to sprinkle in 2 or 3 for Moss, 1 or 2 for that's fine. But we should be running at least 15 times a game, handing it off.
I agree. I totally agree with that. You can't run 6 times with your lead back. That's 9, 8 times, 7. I mean, that's
and if the up the gut's not working, throw tosses, throw cracks, throw different ways. There's different ways to get the running game going. It doesn't have to be the same 5 plays.
Right, like last week when we ran Moss up the gut.
There's no reason why you can't run a jet sweep and hand it off to a different person.
To McKenzie or something. I totally I agree with that too.
Diggs, Cook, you can line them up anywhere and run jet sweep.
I agree. You gotta. Man, did you see? By the way, Allen was so physically drained. We talked about this on Monday. Like, physically, that was the worst I've ever seen him. Like physical. Like, he was just gone. Like, he looked like he probably lost 20 pounds in that game. Like, he had to have been hurting, man. Right. So you can't keep that going through a full season. And Josh will do it because that's Josh. That's what he is in his DNA, but it's not going to, that will not last long in this league. Like you got to help him out. And I hope you do. I do. But I think right now, Mikey, offensive line is what they are, man. It's continuing.
So maybe next year, Bean will actually draft some offensive linemen.
He has to. You got to. You got to start. You have to, man. You have to start protecting Allen. You got to start getting the running game going. You cannot keep doing this, musical chairs with offensive linemen. 1-year deal. This guy is coming. And now, we're going to sign this guy, a veteran for one. Bro, just bring in guys. Let's just start drafting again. Let's get the Deion Dawkins kind of guy back. You know what I mean? Like, let's get these guys back.
Now that we have Cromer in there, Cromer has an idea of what he wants. Okay, I understood us not doing it last year because Cromer came in late, new regime, correct. They weren't sure. Got it. But next year, I want to see us take a couple linemen in the draft.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't care if it's first round.
Chewy comes in, and to switch to change the topic, Chewy comes in and says, who's going to cover Andrews? Huge matchup. I truly believe, and Tommy, tell me if you agree with me, I believe it's going to be depending on where he lines up. If he lines up as a true tight end, it's going to be Milano. If he lines up in the slot, it's going to be probably Teron Johnson.
Yeah, so Teron, I agree. Milano can cover him. Milano has the speed. So that, no doubt about it, and I think Milano could run with him as well. And Teron,
I wouldn't even mind seeing Saran Neal come in and get a little bit of coverage on him.
Now that's a great point. I would love actually.
You let him get physical. Let him get a little bit physical with them at the line.
Jam him up. Jam him up. Even if you get a penalty, who cares? Like
we could even run let Saran Neal play that outside backer role. And run a general 4-3. And let Saran Neal cover him and beat him up a little bit.
And Saran's fresh. He's one of the few that.
And those are the type of guys he should be playing against because he's athletic enough and big enough to hang with those guys. Him Physical and Kelsey, and Kittle, and those type of.
I would definitely. I would 100% welcome that. I would have no problem seeing Saran Neal on the field, lining up against Andrews. 100% agree with
you. I'm with you. If Allen's not Superman, it doesn't seem like we're going to win.
Yeah, it's sad. I hate that, man. I do, because it's like, and look, last week, like I said, man, like his primetime guys, his receivers weren't even really, they weren't like deal breakers, right? They didn't really, Diggs was suffering, and Gabe Davis wasn't Gabe Davis, and Kumaro, for as much shit as I give him, got hurt mad early. Right? Like,
on a great catch.
Like nobody.
On a great catch.
Very good catch. We just have it's just like, man, like the amount, and McKenzie, I felt like McKenzie was in the game early, and then we kind of went away from him a little bit. There has to be games where I think you got to get McKenzie involved a little bit more too. Like McKenzie is one of those players, I think.
McKenzie and Crowder.
Yes.
I don't understand why we haven't gotten Crowder more involved.
I don't know. That is weird. And I kind of felt like they had him going deep last week, which was odd. Like, just
I think he was playing it because Gabe was struggling.
Yeah, you got a good point. That could be a good point too.
He was playing a different position because he was trying to fill in for Gabe.
Yeah.
When he couldn't go, like they had to limit what Gabe did because of his ankles. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking just don't even have Gabe out there. Honestly, it's point.
Especially with a wet field, all those guys who have ankles and leg injuries, put them down.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, Mac, I'm with you. I wish they would pick one running back and let them get into a rhythm instead of this switching backs every other series.
I hate it. I can't. We didn't even do. Yeah, we didn't even do that last year. We didn't even do that last year. I don't understand the let Singletary in for the first 4 drives, and then the next 4 is all Moss. Like, what? Like, what are you doing? I don't understand it. Like, stop with it. I don't mind if Moss comes in on situational downs, 3rd and short, whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like a breather for Singletary. But why are you doing this? Like, it's like it makes no sense, and it's not working. It's not working, so it's not even effective. If it was effective, I had no problem with it, right?
Yeah.
Moss was coming in, getting his fair shares, pounding the rock, getting 4 yards of carry. I'd be cool with it. I'd be like, hey, it's working. It's not working, so stop doing it. It's not working.
So two things came in.
Oh yeah,
Scott says McKenzie's like a small downside version of Hill. Why don't we get him out in the positions? That's a great question. I don't know why we're not using him more like that.
He should be used a lot more, especially on like little gadgets and little.
Beth, how you doing?
Hey,
well,
Beth.
Welcome to the party, even if you are late. Welcome to the party.
Yes.
And the other one came in from Chew. He's asking what's up with Hodgins. He's on our practice squad. I would love to see.
And he had a great.
Him.
Yeah,
I would love to see him and Shakir. Sit down. Kumro's out, so sit down, Davis. Bring up Hodgins and Shakir to take those two guys' spot.
And he had a great preseason, and he's a bigger receiver, right?
Who can play the outside,
right? Is it me or
Hodgins both had great preseasons? Get those two guys together.
I kind of feel like McDermott sometimes is a little hesitant on a lot of things, right? Yeah. Player call-ups, like certain players, right? Mm-hmm. Certain downs, right? Like he gets hesitant, why not give Shakir he had a great preseason, like all of a sudden now you're scared to use him. Hodgins had another, Hodgins I thought proved himself, put him in there. You know what I mean?
Hodgins should have made the team. Personally,
I don't get it. And then like I said, these I gotta say too, these 1-score 0-7 shit has to stop too.
Yeah,
or whatever our record is. That's terrible.
We're for our last 7 over the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's
we
awful.
were really good in 1-score games in 2020. We have not been good in 1-score games in 2020.
Right, 2020. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And also the challenges like McDermott. Jesus Christ, when will he ever get good at? It's you know what I mean? There's some things that drive me nuts. I love our coach.
Yeah,
but man,
and I agree with you, Scott. Here, where you said this, you talked about it earlier in the chat. Sit those guys down with a wet field. There's no reason why you can't bring up Shakir and Hodgins who can fill in for a game.
Right.
Get the guys freaking healthy. Stop running them out there.
Right. And once again, it's not like Josh doesn't have anyone he doesn't trust out there. But you're only sending Rick. He has a ton of weapons that he trusts. So even if you have. Right, so even if you bring Shakir and Hodgins up, let's just say hypothetically, maybe he doesn't even go to them. Maybe he just continues to go to his guys that he trusts. That's fine, but at least you're resting. You're resting a guy that is going to be needed.
We have guys who can step in when needed.
Right, it makes that's what I'm saying. I don't understand some of the logic on some of these things, man. I just don't get it.
See, that's the one part. Beth brings up a great point here. I don't understand why we're when Cook's been used, he's been used as a running back, not as a receiver. His calling card is receiving. Why the hell aren't we using him in the passing game?
He's been very limited in receiving. Now, I will say this: week 2, he looked bad on receiving. He looked a little nervous,
but he's looked better since.
But week 3, I thought, he had a couple good catches. I believe he had a couple. They weren't anything, oh my God, right? He didn't break loose or anything.
Nobody made a catch and got upfield.
Positive yards,
which is what you would expect.
Yeah. But he has to listen. These guys, these running backs, especially
if he plays Chewy, Knox is questionable.
Yeah, he is with the foot. Once again, foot. They have to get in a groove, man. All these guys got to get in a groove. These running backs are weird like that. They have to get in a groove. If you just continue to sit them on the side, it's never going to get in a groove. Never. Right?
So freaking give Singletary 12 to 15 carries. All the other guys can split a few carries. There's no reason why you can't line up Cook in the slot and throw him the damn ball. Throw a bubble screen to him. Run a jet sweep with them. Get him involved that way.
Yeah. I will say this too. I told you, I really have been liking Dorsey's play calling. I honestly, there's very few plays where I'm like, what is he doing?
There was a few last week. Last week was the first time I've questioned him. Last week was the first question,
but a few, but nothing that's oh my God, we have to make, you know what I mean? Where it's we're concerned. But I will say, he hasn't really done anything crazy yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't really gone outside the box on any. Like, these are very not standard, but nothing crazy, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing unique or wild. Like, not doing a lot of jet sweeps, not doing like any kind of trickery. It's been very fundamental crossland, you know, like, which is fine. It's working, but eventually he's going to have to get a little bit deeper in his playbook is all I'm saying. You have to. You got to mix in the Cooks, right? You got to mix in the Shakirs once in a while. Mix in, bro, the tight end, like Dawson Knox has been so quiet. Like so quiet, right? Am I right? Like,
yeah, well, he's been staying in to help the offensive line because it's been so banged up.
Yeah, but man, Jesus, you got to get him involved. Like Knox was a weapon last year. I think he led the league or was tied with touchdowns for tight ends. You know what I mean? Like you can't, having a weapon like that all of a sudden just not be part of your offense and use them for blocking. It's like, that hurts. You know what I mean? That hurts the offense. So we have to figure that out, Mikey. You got to, or I mean,
no,
now you're taking something away.
You know, we brought in that left side with Saffold and Dawkins should be able to move some guys.
Correct.
Yet we're not doing much with it. Granted, we did a little bit in week 1. We did a little bit in week 2. Last week was kind of a funky game, so we'll just chalk that up to a weird game with a lot of guys going in and out. We need to get back to it this week. Got to get back to it this week. Start getting, even if it's, pull the, go get away from the zone and get back to the, pulling the guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the defenses game. Once again, I'm really not. Like, I know it's a tough game, but I think Leslie Frazier has the key to success against him. I'm more worried about the offense getting back on track. Like, let's get back to what we did week 1, week 2, and get this thing going again, because
last week was just a anomaly game, weird situation.
It really was. It really was. And the good
news,
news,
Tommy, this is for
go
you.
ahead. Yeah.
Beth comes and says, "Oh my God, sorry, my 3-year-old's on my laptop typing is challenging." Right. So then Chewy says, "Beth is injured now." Great.
Oh no, we got another injury.
Everyone's injured. That's for you for your earlier comment. Everybody's injured.
Everybody. I feel like I'm the only one, and now I gotta watch. I gotta wrap myself in bubble.
Now we got our chat. Our chat's injured.
I got chat.
Everyone's
injuries.
going on IR.
I got chat injuries. Yo,
we are. We are slowly getting healthier. We still have a few guys. We only have 3 guys out so far this week. We'll see how we play. And really, it's going to depend on probably the weather, on if they're going to play them or not, would be my guess.
Yeah.
But we have depth. They played really well last week. I imagine they'll play really well this week too, and then we'll figure it out from there.
I think we have a bot in the room.
Yeah, we have another bot.
If anyone could kick the bot out, chat 69XYZ. Yeah, I appreciate it. Just hit flag the guy or something.
Chewy, thank God I've got bourbon. It's going to be a good game. We're going to have fun watching the game. At the end of the day, the Bills are coming back out. Like, if you think about it, even as frustrating as last week was, we dominated that game from start to finish. We just didn't capitalize.
I got to make a confession.
Go ahead.
You guys are going to blame me. And I didn't tell you this yet, Mikey. And you're going to be really upset with me.
What'd you do?
I'm not even joking. So you guys know I'm very superstitious. Very superstitious.
What'd you do?
Last year, all right. So last year, I went and I normally cut my own hair, guys. Like I don't do a bad job, but I wear a hat, so no big deal. But I didn't feel like cleaning my hair. So I'm like, I'll go get a haircut. Well, last year I did the same thing, and we lost against the Chiefs. And I went and got a haircut this week, and we lost against the Dolphins.
It's your fault. You're the reason why Josh couldn't get the snap off.
And do you know, I swear to God, Mikey, I swear to God, on the way there, I was like thinking the whole time, am I jinxing the team by getting the haircut? No, I need the haircut. Sure enough, we lost. Oh, man, I swear. So I would not do that again. I know. I know. And now I got to, by the way, New Jersey. So every time we lose, I have to switch a jersey. So Singletary will be on till the Super Bowl.
In you.
I know. I apologize, everybody. I do, because I normally do not do that. I have my routine.
See,
and
that's with us too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I swear.
You're not doing your 111th, Tommy.
I know. Shame on me. So yeah, expect to win this weekend, because I'm not doing anything that I normally don't
so
do.
Disappointed with you.
Hand to God. Okay, so we're good. I got the Singletary jersey on for the rest of the season. We will win the Super Bowl with this jersey.
You are lucky that I don't want to be on here tonight by myself, or I'd be putting you in timeout right now.
I know. Shame on me, man. Never again. So Mikey, score predictions before we go, because we have NFL overtime in 30 minutes.
Score predictions. I have it 27-17. I think the weather's going to play a factor in it, and it's going to keep it lower scoring. Yeah. If it was a perfect night, I think we'd be high 30s, low 40s. But since it's going to be wet and rainy, I think it was going to be more of a 27-17 type of score.
I'm scared to do my 40 prediction, because you know how that went last week. In Baltimore, rainy. Golly, we never played well in the rain either. I'm going to say 27-16 Buffalo wins. 27-16.
So I have a 27-17. You have a 27-16.
Oh, wow. We have a close, Mikey.
Yep.
Okay.
Chewy has a 27-13. Okay. So everyone's kind of feeling that right around that lower scoring game because of the weather. So that's fine. For the rest of you, Tommy and I will be back tomorrow along with Howie for Fantasy Kingdom.
Yep.
And then right after this, Tommy will be hopping on for the NFL Overtime with Curtis. So please hop in and check him out. Curtis is fantastic. Is it on your channel or is it on Curtis?
Yeah, Yep, on the Mafia's. Yep. So in 30 minutes, Mafia Sports Report will be on.
21-3, we get the W.
That'd be great. 3 points. Yeah.
And then I'll put Tommy off a timeout after we get this win.
99-0. I love it.
99-0. Scott, love you, buddy. Love you. All right, Tommy, let's play this out so you can get ready for your next show.
Thanks for hopping on, everybody. I'll see you in 30 minutes.
All right, go Bills.
Go Bills.